How are you?
Hello. Good afternoon or evening, whatever
Good
it is.
morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. here in the UK. What time is it where you are, Jim?
5 p.m.
5 p.m. So I'm in the future. You're still on Thursday, aren't you?
Right.
I'll let you know Friday is a glorious day.
It's a glorious day. Something to look forward to, huh? All right.
Something to look forward to. It's worth getting out of bed for today. So there's a weird one this week because it is in that no man's land between Christmas and
Right.
New Year's. So that's been a bit crazy. Have you had a good Christmas, Jim?
I have, yeah. It's been pretty low key. We didn't even put up the Christmas tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
we did, but I say we. There was a Christmas tree up.
Someone put one up.
Someone put one up. If it was up to me, it's a lot of fuss
It is.
for the
Yeah.
cat to destroy it, for it to be took back down again. So
Right.
interesting tip though on just to throw it out there whilst it's still fresh in my mind. I was talking with someone a couple of weeks ago on social media, and apparently on live streams and YouTube videos and TikToks and all of that, they recognize when you've got decorations in the background. So if you've got content that's seasonal, such as Christmas, next Christmas, that content will start to see a spike in viewers again because they know that it's seasonal content. But if you've got evergreen content, try not to put anything that's seasonal in the background. There you go.
Incredible what the technology is just advancing so quickly. It's amazing.
Yes. It's the future, Jim.
It is the future. We're living in the future.
Well, what can I say? What can I say? Elon Musk has got nothing on us.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got some great stuff for them again this week. And don't forget, if you do have any interesting news, trainings, conference talk, or anything like that you want us to feature, and we don't charge them, do we, Jim?
Nope, we don't charge them yet.
Not yet. Not yet. They drop us a message. We can feature that as well. It's a great way of spreading the good news out there as well. And yeah, we've got a great show for them today. We've got a mixed bag of stuff as usual.
Yeah, and actually, a couple of people did contact us and give us some information to put on the show. So that's really exciting.
Exactly.
In fact, we even have a special guest today.
A very special guest.
Right.
Do you want to do the honors to introduce our special guest?
I would, yes. So I've been Facebook friends with this guy for a long time. We finally met virtually over the phone, and he's got something he wants to share with the hypnosis community. Everybody, give a round of applause for Joseph Crown.
Hey, all. Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate being here. So today, what I wanted to talk about was I'm starting a fund called the Crown Legacy Visibility and Cultural Catalyst Fund. Excuse my Christmas cold here. I'm a bit congested. But essentially, what this fund is going to do is going to reach out to both the lifestyle presentators within the community. So my niche as both a hypnotherapist, as a consulting life coach or performance improvement coach, is within the lifestyle community. That includes kink, culture bearers, artists. So it's very specialized. But why I'm here today is to present hypnotherapy or hypnosis passion projects and attending hypnosis training as part of that cultural and lifestyle system. Both people who are doing lifestyle, street hypnosis, they're going out and trying self-hypnosis, different sorts of meditation. They're all in this idea, essentially sharing a culture that we can all come together with. So my idea with this fund is to allow people who are going to advance trainings, who wish to create trainings, and essentially starting out or have a passion projects they want to pitch, come together and essentially be part of, I guess, the culture that is going on through the U.S. This fund here is essentially just being started up. My goal for it is to raise around $20,000 for the first year and to have a pitch session where people can attend. Nonprofits will sit side by side with judges as well as those from the communities which they serve. I live in New Orleans, so street hypnosis, magicians, like people who are doing sleight of hand and putting on performances. These are the cultural bearers that are everywhere. They're not just like in theaters. They're essentially on the street doing shows. So to me, this is a fun that brings back really some of the things that inspired me as I was starting out and would allow more people to find what we're doing as approachable, but at the same time, bring us together as a group so we can learn from each other. So I'm sorry, I don't have a presentation pitch beyond that because I'm just starting this up. But if you all have any questions, please ask them.
Yeah, I mean, do you think? I mean, it's a weird thing, especially the lifestyle community. It is becoming more and more open and more accessible now. It's not in the shadows as such like it was, 10, 15, 20 years ago. What do you think are some of the things that are bringing that forward, that more people are seeing it in a positive light?
Yeah, so I would say just it's out there in the culture. And one of the things, whether you know much about kink or being part of a lifestyle, or a lot of the clients that I serve are part of like the BDSM like community. And much of that is they place a lot of cultural significance on both communication, safe, sane, and consensual practices. So even the most imaginative aspects of doing some of this is no more dangerous than football, hiking, or ballet. And I know that may seem flippant, but doing some of these things are both, it takes discipline and it's there a lot of times for performance. And what we're sharing here is like part of the diversity, not only of our culture, but it allows us to share our identity, our expressions of self, as well as the organizational values that many people don't know. It's strange when I tell people that you could go across anywhere in the globe and find a dungeon. And I know that seems kind of strange, but BDSM and this sort of culture has been part of our lifestyle that often hasn't been talked about for years. And now, at this point in time, what we do with hypnosis, what we do with wellness, it's allowing people who are in this lifestyle to not only just talk about it, but to connect with others so that they can improve their lives, find a journey similar to ours, and essentially find, I guess, a path that will allow them to create something that's all their own. And what I've seen and been part of while learning and practicing not only hypnosis, but like coaching, I've found a path for myself that few other have gone on. And I'm really proud of it. I know for the most part, my brand, as I was talking with both of you earlier, I don't usually show my face. In the beginning, that was what I did for both privacy, but at the same time, I wanted my face here, the one that you see, to be bland enough that anybody could see themselves being in that picture. It didn't matter if I was a black, white, or Asian. I'm not always the most elegant. Right now, I have my Christmas cold, and I got to tell you, I feel tired and drowsy. But I'm trying to share my best self, and at the same time, share a little bit about things I care about, and that's why I'm making this fund. And I really hope that people connect with it, and that people, I guess, come to some of the pitch sessions, because I found I would not choose another life. I really do love what I do. And if you have any other questions, please ask me.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I mean, there is a link in the comment section as well as if people click on or scan the QR code on there as well, that enables them to kind of get to, some more details on that as well.
And thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you for stepping up. We need more people to step up and do big things, do new things that are going to serve the community.
Yeah. And especially having like a creators fund where people can pitch ideas to it. I love the idea of it becoming a collective, if you know what I mean, rather than people going out and recreating the same wheel and doing their own things independently. It gives people that space to develop and grow.
Yeah, just like with my picture there, I really feel like we stand on each other's shoulders, but also we're there hand in hand. So I really appreciate you giving me the time and the space to share this. I look forward to maybe sharing with you how it improves as we go along.
Yes, absolutely. And check in with us when you start getting some money rolling in. We'd love to hear about that, and we'll share the link again too.
Yeah.
Both of your courses, I'm sure we'll be pointing people your way.
All right.
Take care.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Joseph. It's been an absolute real pleasure to meet you and talk to you about this really fascinating project as well.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye now.
Cheers. Fantastic. So yeah, that's some really cool stuff, is that, Jim?
It is. I really do love that when people are stepping up, they're doing new things, they're serving the community in their special way. It's really amazing.
Yeah. It's that whole it's the we, not the me.
Exactly.
It's people doing stuff for the community, which helps the whole community grow. So yeah, absolutely fantastic work. Yeah, brilliant. So let's get into the conference news. It's not the My Hypnosis conference anymore. What's it called now, this one?
I think so. It might just be Michigan Hypnosis Conference now.
Michigan Hypnosis Conference. It is the final call for the pre-conference proposals. I think there's 48 hours left on that. So if you've got an interesting thing you want to get put forward, now is the time to do it.
Yes, and Grant and I both highly recommend this. We're going to be there.
Yeah.
So get your proposals in. They're also still accepting. They'll be accepting for a little while the normal proposals. So get those in too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a great conference as well. Really, really. And he has the best raffle prizes that you could ever get. Yeah.
The arm wrestle people for some of those prizes, I tell you what.
Yeah. And on a slightly different note, it's the HypnoCaf magazine is due out, or if not, it's out. And I noticed yourself and myself were on the cover of that.
I noticed that. Yes, we're cover models now.
We are cover models. So in the news, this is an interesting article about a Rochdale hypnotist who has used her skills to create a series of short stories on kind of escape the reality. They are fiction stories, but it's a positive spin on kind of the hypnotherapy and the hypnotherapist involved in that. So I mean, there's not a lot of news this week because obviously everyone is consumed by Christmas and the holiday season.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of at least a couple people that I know of that are on YouTube doing the story, hypnotic stories, hypnotic bedtime stories, things like that. They seem to perform really well.
Yeah. There was a phase where everyone seemed to release like hypnotic children's books. I think I know three people that really. I've got one here somewhere actually as well. Within the space of a year, 3 different hypnotherapists I know all released kind of bedtime stories for children that had hypnotic language patterns in there, which were a brilliant idea. So we should do more of that. I know at the beginning of the pandemic I was going to do a hypnotic colouring book, but that's only because, because I don't really like writing.
Exactly. I was thinking of a journal, planners.
Yeah. I love journals. I'm gonna be an author of a book. Here we go. There's no words in it though.
I gotta tell you, I got a friend who's a coach and a speaker, and he's put out about 7 books. And after his first 4, I had him on my show one time, and the Exploring Awesome podcast, and I was like, dude, how do you write so many? And he goes, they're all journals. And I was like, what? Oh, I just put prompts. I was like, oh my God. Wow. So he's like an author of 7 books, and one of them is an actual written book.
Oh, wow.
So,
oh, well, congratulations on him on that as well. Speaking of conference talk and trainings, we've got a fantastic training coming up, and that is Mr. and the Sandman's boot camp for stage hypnosis. As a Brit, this is one that I've seen over the years come up every year. And it fascinates me. I love the idea of it's like a baptism of fire. You're on the road doing is it fairs that they do this? It's a certain fair that this is done at.
I believe, I know last year, and I don't know if they do it every year at the same place, but I know last year it was down here in Centralia, Washington. and
Nice.
I didn't get down because I was actually had some other bookings. I couldn't make it down for it, but I heard great things. One of Susan Gilliam,
Yep.
you know her. Yep, she was one of the students. She loved it, and of course, we've got Alan Sands and Misty Knight, but what's her real name? Lisa Kucinich. Her legends in the business. They've been around for a long time doing this, so really probably a good investment if you're trying to get into this kind of work.
And it's the idea of you doing fair shows and you doing the shows. It's not a manufactured environment. It is you in the cut and thrust of it. If it's a difficult audience, it's a difficult audience. So I love the idea of it.
And like you said, trial by fire, man. I mean, you just throw yourself in there and you either burn up or you rise, you become a phoenix and you rise out of it. But there's really just no. Here's the thing too, like you're gonna fail sometimes. So hey, get those failures out of the way. The quicker you get them out of the way, the better. It's gonna happen.
And if you can get your failures out the way, surrounded by a support network and your mentors and your trainers that can kind of go, this was the issue, this is where you went wrong, but you handled it brilliantly. It's really good. I'm always a big believer, especially for stage hypnosis, is we've got to kind of broadcast our mistakes more because the amount of times that, stage hypnosis trainers do suffer from this sometimes when they just tell you about all the polished brilliance, not the mistakes. So when people are making mistakes, they think, oh, it's me, I'm doing something wrong. So rather than trying to fix it, they try and hide it. And I think that's where the issues come around. And,
we've seen this and we've talked about this before, and I don't know if we talked on the show, but it's also the same thing with the street hypnosis videos. You see the ones that what's really a reinduction, or it's kind of staged and that kind of a thing. And then people think that's all legit and that's all real. And they go out and try to do it and they fail. And they message one of us and go, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Nothing. You're doing fine. It just doesn't work like that in real life.
It's always interesting to see, like, people don't get that, they're going to watch a TV program or a movie and that's edited. They accept that. But then when they see a clip on YouTube of a hypnotist, they kind of go, yeah, but he did it that way. And it's like, maybe you edited out all the other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant. So this is the kind of research. This was from the American Psychological Association. And this is it's a very, there's nothing too in-depth on that, to be fair, but it's a really positive research article on the benefits of hypnotherapy. So again, a great article to share from a well-respected source, the American Psychological Association. So again, great for putting that out there, sharing on your blogs, sharing on your social medias to kind of spread the good word about hypnosis.
Yeah, those, because you get those people all the time that still think it's some kind of a quackery or something. We've got, like you said, this is a major organization, psychological organization, that's actually legitimizing it, saying, yeah, this stuff's legit.
Yeah. So. I find it weird. I'm sure you're the same. And any hypnotist watching this is, in this day and age, there is still so much misconception, so much myths around hypnosis. I had a show cancelled once in a very remote part of the United Kingdom. I'll not say where it is because I do a lot of work in this area now. But yeah, literally someone from the local council, the government body was like, we don't have anything like that here. We don't have witchcraft, psychics or hypnotists. And I'm like, it's a comedy show. And so it was so difficult. And in the UK, we've got really silly laws anyway. So it was easy to just cancel the show. Do you know what I mean? Don't burn me at the stake.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant. So next bit is a funny story. So I'm just trying to think of an interesting one now. I think for me, it's probably going to be like one of my last shows. When I say funny, it was funny as in everything that we are taught about what you should do for a stage hypnosis show all went completely out the window. They didn't know there was going to be a hypnotist on. Everybody was really drunk. It was a corporate event. There was only 24 people in the audience and they didn't have a decent sound system. And so at that point, as a performer, I'm like, I just want to go home.
Get your money back. Can I just leave?
Exactly. And it's of the 24, three of them definitely weren't going to get involved whatsoever. They're like, we're the directors of the company. We're not going to get involved. A couple of the apprentices, they were really young and just were too drunk and they didn't want to get involved. And in your mind, you're like, I'm going to give up on this show. But because I don't have any magic tricks in the back to kind of pull out and kind of go, let's do some mentalism instead. I thought, I'm just going to soldier through. And it started off, I think I got 4 volunteers, which I was really pleased at, to be fair. Yeah. 2 of them I knew straight away were just trouble causers. And I was just like, we've just got to go for broke on these last 2. And we got a really good show out of one of them. And you know what? It's that thing of, I don't know if we got a good show out of one of them, but if I'd have not had all that other stuff in my head, maybe I could have got a good show out of 2 or 3 of them. And I think sometimes it's about getting out of your own way, but everything that the textbooks say goes against it, went against it. But you got to do it sometimes.
I know what you mean, because I walked into a show, and maybe I'll tell this story next week, but it was that kind of a thing where you're just like, oh, this is going to be awful. This is going to be terrible. And, as a hypnotherapist, of course, we tell our clients, we don't think like that. We want to have a positive attitude. And then I'm there going, and I'm telling myself, stop saying that. I'm like, no, but it's going to be terrible. And then you do wonder, like, what if I would have just had like this attitude of it's going to be awesome? Yeah.
I always do my best work when I get to the point where I think, do you know what, and just go for it. Exactly. I did a corporate in London. It was a Christmas show, but it got moved to the middle of this year because of COVID and everything. And I remember I was on with quite a high-profile comedian, and they've said to me, you've got half an hour. And there's 300 people in this room. And I thought, there's no way I can do a half-an-hour show with 300 people. But then I thought, you know what? Solid. You know what I mean? Let's just go for it. And ended up doing a brilliant show because of it, because all the little things that I put in my own way weren't there. It was just like, go for gold, see what happens. And I ended up having a brilliant show. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well done. All right. Well, pro tip this week. We've already got one pro tip. Keep a positive attitude. But your bonus pro tip, I guess. So this is, I was watching a friend who's kind of getting started in stage hypnosis. And I noticed something right away. And I hit him up. It's always a delicate issue. Do you really want to say something? And we're pretty good rapport. So I did tell him. And what he was doing, he's turning his back to the audience a lot. And I think, it's because I'm an actor, I'm very aware of it. We were trained. Like I had somebody watching me all the time for years on stage or in film or whatever, saying, don't turn your back to the camera and we don't have that as hypnotists. And it's very easy. Like when you're doing a handshake induction, there's a way to cheat out so that you're not completely just showing the audience your backside. Right.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's I don't know about in the US, but I know especially here in the UK, there's a lot of people that singers do it as well. A lot of club acts that I see doing this. They've got their music on an iPad or a laptop at the side of the stage, and they've got a little table set up here. So they've got the stuff on, and literally they'll do the bit, and then they go back here to change the next track, and they're clicking in. I see a lot of stage hypnotists doing this, where they kind of, just go clip to the next track, and it's any kind of rapport you've got with the audience is just lost. That magic, that connection you've got from there goes when you turn your back on them like that. So and the magic's in them seeing the volunteers' faces. They've not come to see. They've not come to see our behinds, as difficult as that is to believe.
Grant does work out. At least
Oh, don't, it's leg day today as well. I'm actually in lots of pain. I'm like, stood up doing this stream, like, we're going to finish in a minute because I'm melting.
Of course, tomorrow, the next day will be even worse. So
exactly. But so when you are doing those handshake inductions, as a hypnotist, I'm stood here concentrating on this person, and I'm missing out on all of these people behind. Right. So that's a great pro tip.
Yeah, all those times, just kind of think about it. When you're on stage, how can I show me and the volunteers as much as possible the faces? People want to see your face. That's what they want to see. They want to see the expression on the person's face, right? When the person goes flops down like that, they want to see the expression.
Exactly. That's where the magic is. The magic's in people seeing that volunteer, seeing them either struggle to go into hypnosis or struggle with the suggestion or go crazy with all of that stuff happens here, not an hour behind.
Right.
So yeah, I think the next time we speak, it will be 2023.
It will be.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions, Jim?
Do you know what? I gave up resolutions a long time ago, but I do have my ongoing goal is to be more organized.
Good. That is a good goal.
Yeah, that's my biggest one. How about you?
No, I'm not so much giving stuff up because I've given everything up, Jim.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing left to give up. But I actually said to myself, this year I want to deliver more value. You know, it's not so much about earning more money for me, even though, you know.
I want to change my answer. I want that one too.
But do you know what? In the past couple of years, I've found there's a great joy in helping other people become successful. And it's not, you know, it's not just about course and stuff like that. It's just about just sharing and delivering as much value as I can. So yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what we're doing here. And you know, it's funny because like when we're being a hypnotherapist, we do kind of we're kind of helping people. It's like when we become stage hypnotists or when we do stage hypnosis, you know, I mean, I kind of think of like all the other hypnotists out there. Why can't we help them too? You know, why can't we help them just like we help clients and they help us? I mean, I'm not saying that we're the only ones helping. I'm getting back all the time from people, you know, whether it's books, blog articles, videos, all that kind of stuff, you know. The more we give, the more we get.
Yeah. And it surprises me, like speaking to people, other hypnotherapists, other stage hypnotists, and at the conferences, and you'll know when they talk to us about stuff, and it's kind of like, you're like, dude, you know, this is a simple process. If you just follow this process, you're going to do better.
Right.
And so yeah. Right. So that is good. Right. Yeah.
And we have a super big announcement. Speaking of giving back.
There we go.
Right.
This is the Performing Hypnosis Summit, which is literally about the tips and skills that we have as a stage, a street, a performance hypnotist, and getting the word out, really, kind of sharing a collective sharing of knowledge for people in that industry. So we're looking for speakers for this as well. We
are. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of, because, you know, of course, everybody knows I'm involved in the Pacific Northwest Hypnosis Conference. And in talking to hypnotists, I've literally had like, it's 8 or 10 now tell me they can't come to that one because it's during grad season here in the U.S. Grad night, of course, you guys don't have that problem over there because you can't hypnotize under 18. But yeah, exactly. Hypnotize everybody. You gotta bring them in.
That was my biggest learning coming to the US. I'm like speaking to the client, I'm like, what's the minimum age limit? And they've gone, no, even one. I'm like, what? Well, I remember you children on my stage. Thank you.
I was wondering. It was funny too when you were wondering how is it to hypnotize. I'm like, oh my God, don't even worry. It's going to be so easy. Like you can't.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So there's not, and then of course Hypnothoughts. We got a lot of stage hypnotists can't make it then because of fair season. So Grant and I said, hey, let's do something where we can all get together and learn from each other, grow the community.
Yeah, and it's a collective of knowledge, and I know, and again, it's Hypnothoughts is brilliant for the inclusion of the stage hypnotist. Heartland very much has an inclusion for the stage hypnotist, but it'd be nice just to have a collective of the performance side where we can talk about a little bit about stagecraft, a little bit about marketing for shows. Because a lot of the marketing for shows is slightly different from what it is for hypnotherapists. Hypnotherapists tend to be a little bit more fluffy, whereas for stage and performance, it tends to be a bit more dramatic. So, let's hopefully with the start of something fantastic where we just get that collective together and see what golden nuggets we can pick out from there.
Yeah, so we're gonna post this link. We're gonna start sharing it all over the place. It's when is it? March. What is it? 11th and 12th.
11th and 12th.
Yeah, it's coming up shortly. So if you want to be a presenter, please hit us up. All we're asking is that it does need to be geared towards performing in some way, or the performing arts of hypnosis. So mentalism, or speaking from the stage, doing hypnosis and stuff, like Anthony Gailey does. But also, like Grant said, the marketing part of that too, the business part. But you want to tailor that to performers. So we don't want just, hey, this is marketing. We want it tailored to the mentalist, to the hypnotist, stage hypnotist, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, me too. Yeah. We're going to learn a lot. So it's stage hypnotists, street hypnotists, mentalists, speakers, even magicians, I guess. Sure.
If it's relevant to performing, if it's relevant to the performing side of hypnosis, then if you've got something of value that you think you can share with the community, then we want you involved. It's as simple as that.
And we're gonna have. We've already talked to a few like the legends in the business, of course. But if you're brand new to speaking and you want this to be your opportunity, hey, we're happy to give you an opportunity. If you know some stuff. We've been doing this for a little while. We don't want people that are just talking hypothetically. But so if you've been doing it for a while and you've got some experience and some knowledge, we'd love to have you.
Yeah. And again, transferable skills. I know, here in the UK, we get a lot of DJs that try and make the movement into stage hypnosis. They bring with them certain, AV skill sets, microphone, abilities on the microphone. So all of that stuff, if it's a transferable skill into stage hypnosis, then again, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy year next year, but it's nice to be involved in some really positive projects in order to raise the community up.
Absolutely, I agree.
Cool. That is it for them for this week. For them, like we're talking to them, they're there for them. Brilliant, Jim. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Absolute pleasure indeed.
Yep, and I shall see you same time next week.
Absolutely.
See you later.
Cheers.